The sound got louder. Garoo! 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 Wait! Hugo had heard that sound before. It was Panya. That's our dog! Hugo exclaimed. His howling barks were echoing from farther back in the ship. Mr. Singer cocked his head and listened. Heavens, that dog has a loud bark, Mr. Singer said. It's louder than the Hindenburg's engines. Can we go see the dog, Father? Marty asked. He sounds so lonely. Mr. Singer shook his head. I wish we could, Mr. Singer said. But he's in the very back of the zeppelin, and only crew members are permitted back there. Even I'm not allowed in the cargo area. Panya's a tough little guy, Dad said, putting his arm around Hugo, and we'll get to see him tomorrow. They made their way to the front of the zeppelin. As they walked, Dad eyed the gas cells that wavered all around them. How much hydrogen is on this zeppelin? Dad asked. There are 16 gas cells. Altogether, there are 7 million cubic feet of gas. Hugo wasn't an expert, but that seemed like a huge amount. I have to ask, Dad said. Isn't it terribly dangerous to be flying with all of this flammable hydrogen? The gas cells are constantly monitored, Mr. Singer said. There are ladders and walkways that allow the crew to inspect the cells from every side. The captain has instruments in the cockpit that immediately detect if there is a leak. We've been flying with hydrogen for 14 years without an accident. But still, wouldn't it be wiser to use a safer gas like helium? Of course, Mr. Singer said. You could throw a torch into a bag of helium and it wouldn't burn. But all of the world's helium comes from the United States, and with Hitler in power, the U.S. government won't sell helium to German companies. Not even to make the Hindenburg safer? Dad asked. Mr. Singer shook his head. But I don't understand, Marty said. Americans love the Hindenburg. Hugo didn't get it either. Why would the American government worry about zeppelins? As usual, Dad had an explanation. The first German zeppelins were used as weapons, Dad said. They used them during the Great War. Hugo's grandfather had fought in that terrible, bloody First World War, which is why Hugo knew all about it. Germany started the war in 1914. Soon the Germans were battling against a team of countries known as the Allies: Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, and Japan. The United States entered the war in 1917 and helped the Allies defeat Germany. Never in history had there been such brutal killing in a war. For the first time, soldiers had modern weapons like machine guns and tanks and powerful bombs. There were tremendous battles that killed tens of thousands of men in a single day. The Germans even invented a new kind of weapon, a poison called mustard gas. It killed soldiers by burning their lungs when they breathed or made them blind. But Hugo never knew the Germans had used zeppelins, too. They used to drop bombs on England and France, Dad said. And you think Hitler would turn the Hindenburg into a weapon? Hugo asked. Hugo looked around, trying to imagine how many bombs the Germans would fit in this enormous space. Dad and Mr. Singer shared a dark look. Hitler is a madman, Mr. Singer said. His voice was very soft, but his friendly eyes now blazed with anger. Anything is possible. Just then, they heard footsteps rushing toward them, and a man calling out for Mr. Singer. Herr Singer! Herr Singer! One of the Hindenburg stewards appeared, red-faced and out of breath. He glanced at Dad and spoke to Mr. Singer in German. Hugo could see from Mr. Singer's face that this time something really was wrong. Very wrong. Terrifying thoughts flooded Hugo's mind. Had Cole caught the spy? Was there trouble with the zeppelin? But then Mr. Singer turned to Dad. Mr. Ballard, your wife needs you to come back to the cabin right away. Dad went pale, and somehow Hugo understood. It wasn't the Hindenburg that was in danger. It was Gertie. I'm sorry, Mr. Singer said to Dad.